Hello. This is sixth grade health, pages 60 to 63. 60 to 63. So now is when we get into the body sections, the body systems, and they start right off with the hardest system, in my opinion. So that's great to get that over with, right? But it's the endocrine system, which is probably something you don't know too much about, but it has all the chemical reactions, the hormones, all of that kind of stuff in our body. And it's the production and distribution of hormones. So if I'd say, what does the endocrine system do? You would say the production and distribution of hormones. So that production means that it makes hormones. Distribution means it sends it out to the rest of the body. All right, so hormones are produced and released by what they call endocrine glands, and the endocrine glands are controlled by the brain, which uses nerve impulses to kind of turn the glands on and off whenever you need a certain types of things. Hormones are just chemical messengers that tell your body what to do, how to react, that kind of thing. Look on page 61 and you'll see this little guy, and you should have a worksheet with this little guy on it. And just make sure you don't mess up the pineal and pituitary gland because they're real close, really close. The pituitary gland is in the front, sort of towards your temple, but these are literally in the middle of the brain because they need to be protected by the skull of the brain that goes way in. So it's more in towards the front, towards your temple, and then the pineal gland's a little bit more like behind the ear on the diagram. But of course, like I said, they're really more in the middle of your brain, down in the center, so that they can be protected better. Then you have the thyroid gland. That's like a butterfly looking shaped gland that's right here. You can see I have a scar here on my base of my neck. That's where I had half of my thyroid removed. We'll talk about that later. And then you have the adrenal glands. Those are the ones that are on top there, as you can see. And then the pancreas is really endocrine organ. And they have something called the islets of Langerhans on them. And some people say islets of Langerhans. I can't hardly say that. Anyway, I've heard it both ways and looked it up, and they say it both ways. So your most important endocrine gland is the pituitary gland. And it is the master gland, the control gland, basically. It's located at the base of the brain. And as you can see, it's more at the base of the cerebrum, but when they say that, it's more like here, back here, but in the middle. The master gland secretes hormones that control all the other endocrine glands. So it's going to be able to help control your thyroid, your adrenal glands, all of those things. It also secretes a hormone that's called the growth hormone, and it will cause your body to grow. And so right now that hormone is really going crazy, and it's causing your body to grow. If you look in the mirror and you slowly count to 10, you're actually growing, and it's of course you can't see it, but they grew a little. Your bones grew a little longer. Your muscles grew. Everything is growing right now for you. So the pituitary gland's the master gland, and it also secretes the growth hormone. All right, then you have another gland that affects your growth. It's called your thyroid, and that's located in the front, the base of the neck. And it produces what they call thyroxine. Thyroxine's on the top of page 62. And it controls the rate of the chemical reactions in your body, which also is kind of known as metabolism as well. Metabolism is how your body converts food into energy. So some of us tend to have a slow metabolism. It takes food and it doesn't convert it very quickly into energy. So sometimes it converts it into fat if you have too much food. And then you have those faster metabolisms that seem to convert food into energy much more quickly. But you can also work with your metabolism and try to get it faster and that kind of thing. So your thyroid, like I said right here, whenever I just had Braden, so I was like 25, 26, I had half of my thyroid removed. They thought it was cancerous, and they did a test there when I was in surgery, and they realized that at that point it wasn't cancerous, so they left the other half in. has these big nodules all over it. But I have what they call hypothyroidism. That means an underactive thyroid. Some people have hyperthyroidism, and that means an overactive thyroid. So they both cause problems, and I take medicine for it to kind of balance it all out. So thankful that I can do that, and that I don't have to worry about all the problems I had whenever I had the thyroid problems way back when. But anyways, your metabolism goes hand in hand with your thyroid, and all of the other basic rates of chemical reactions that are occurring in your body. So remember, your thyroid, base of the neck, it produces thyroxine, helps with metabolism. Okay. If you're taking notes, those are the things that you should probably write down, like pituitary gland, dash, master gland, and in the base of your brain, and growth hormone. Right, those things would be good. You can rewind and do it again if you want to. Thyroid gland, it produces thyroxine and regulates metabolism, chemical reactions in your body. And this is a very simplified description of all of this. It will go more details next year, and then even bigger details or more smaller details. Sorry, it's too early. Then for biology later on. All right, so that's thyroid and pituitary. All right, then you have your adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands produce adrenaline, or some people, they would say epinephrine. And it's the inner portion secretes the hormone called adrenaline, which causes your body to release energy in very quickly during emergency situations. It's also known as like your fight or flight gland, and they're endocrine glands that sit on top of each little kidney, and like a little cap on each kidney, and it secretes the hormones that your body needs to in these emergency situations. Whenever you get scared and you shake a little bit, or your stomach starts to hurt when you're nervous, or maybe your hands sweat when you get up to give an oral book report, something along those lines. Or let's say somebody knocks on the door when you're at home alone, and your heart rate starts to beat really fast, and something like that. That is all has to do with your adrenaline glands and your adrenal glands and your adrenaline. It's actually secreting adrenaline or epinephrine to where your body can react a little bit more quickly in those situations. Then the outer portion of the adrenal glands will produce hormones that stimulate the body to make necessary repairs after injury or after stress. So if you sprain an ankle, if you get a cut, if you get, whatever, that is the outer portion. It sends the body and stimulates the body to produce whatever it needs to produce in order for you to heal properly. So that's kind of cool as well. It also helps maintain water balance in your body, which is really important because we're like 77% water, and we want to make sure that we maintain that. That's why it's really important for you to be drinking water after my coffee. So that will help as well. So adrenal glands, adrenaline. All right. Some of your parents may be like, that's actually epinephrine. Those of you that are in the medical field. But we're going to say adrenaline for now. It's easy to remember. Adrenaline. That helps your fight or flight systems. Okay. So in emergency situations. And then the outer portion helps to repair your body, and also helps regulate the water in your body. There. All right, then you have your reproductive glands, your gonads, and I'll let you read about that. That's in females are called ovaries, and in males are called testes. And basically, these hormones are responsible for making boys boys and girls girls. That's pretty much self-explanatory for you guys. And then page 63, you have the pineal gland. All right, pineal gland. This is a small, like cone-shaped endocrine gland located between the two hemispheres of your brain, and the functions of the tiny gland are not completely understood because, like I said, it's in that deep part of your brain, so they're working on it. but it seems to be affected by the amount of time that your eyes are exposed to light or darkness. So this has to do with your sleep system, your sleep patterns, your waking up, and that kind of thing. So, whenever you guys, it's a little bit more difficult, but as you get older, your body really is on a clock system there. And like whenever 10 o'clock hits, I start to get sleepy and I start to get tired. Even if I'm just sitting around here all day doing not much of anything except for talking to you guys on YouTube, my body starts shutting down about 10 o'clock, 10 to 11. And that is your pineal gland basically saying, okay, it's time for you to get tired. It's time for you to go to sleep. And it is secreting melanin, not melanin. What am I thinking? I want to say somatotropin. Anyways, you don't have to know that. But anyway, so you want to be able to go to sleep. So it's secreting that. So then you can go to sleep, and hopefully that helps you there. And then usually around, I don't know, right now it's like 6 or 7, my body starts to wake up. And usually whenever I get a little bit of light in there, now your bodies are growing so much that a lot of times you all will sleep longer than what you normally would because your body's like catching up. But for the most part, when people are waking up at about that same time every day, that's because of your pineal gland there. And so that will help you to maintain regular sleeping cycles. Melatonin, that's what it is, melatonin. And I said melanin, that would be your skin. But anyway, so you've got melatonin that it will release to help you go to sleep. And then it'll help you to wake up as well in the morning. Let's see here. And then they have like what they call your built-in alarm clock. Built-in alarm clock. So I want to see what this one is. Because it's going to bother me. Somatotropin is your growth hormone. That's the pituitary gland. But again, you learn that in biology. Sorry to bug you on that. All right, so your pineal gland, it's your going to sleep, regulate your sleep cycles. You can just put that if you're taking notes. All right, regulate your sleep cycles located in the brain between the two hemispheres. All right, then you have islets of Langerhans, and Langerhans is how they pronounce it in the book, and they do say islets there in the book, so we're going with that. They're found in the pancreas, and these are groups of cells that produce insulin and glucagon, which is basically the sugar in your body. Hormones that help maintain the proper balance of sugar in your blood. And so you want to have a certain level of glucose and a certain level of in your body, and the insulin and glucagon will regulate that. A deficiency of insulin can lead to diabetes. And then there's other things like if you don't have enough, if you have too much, that kind of thing, which I'm trying not to get into too much because it's a lot of information. But anyways, so the islets of Langerhans are on your pancreas, and they regulate the sugar in your blood. They secrete insulin and glucagon. All right, so let's review a little bit because, like I said, this is a lot in one lesson there. Production and distribution of hormones, that's the responsibility of the endocrine system. That's what we're talking about. Hormones are chemical messengers, and they are produced by endocrine glands. The major endocrine glands that we talked about, your pineal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, and adrenal glands are on your kidneys, and then islets of Langerhans are on your pancreas. All right, you definitely want to know that, and whenever you do that worksheet, that'll help you there. All right, so pituitary, it is the master control gland, and it also produces your growth hormone. The thyroid gland at the front of your neck, and it produces thyroxine, regulates metabolism. Adrenal gland, adrenaline, and it helps in your emergency situations, and also to repair an injury or stress after stress or injury, and maintain water balance. Your gonads are your reproductive glands. Your pineal gland is your alarm clock or your sleep cycle gland. And then islets of Langerhans on your pancreas, and they regulate the sugar in your blood with insulin and glucagon. All right, so if you can literally, if you want to go over that little one last section, that review every day, I know you're like, no, I really don't want to, but you should anyway, because this is one section that if you get it now, and the next year when we go over it again and we get a little deeper into it, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that from last year, I had that. And then in 10th grade, 9th grade, whatever we have biology, then you'll be like, oh yeah, I got this. So get it in your brain now, and that will really help you as well. And I may do a little bit of review, a little review lesson for tomorrow, because tomorrow you just have worksheet 4, and sometimes it's helpful to just kind of review over all of chapter 3. So I'll probably have a chapter 3 review up in a little bit. All right, make sure you do your quick checkup there and do your worksheet 4, and I hope you have a good rest of the day.